Hey, what's up everyone? I wanted to start an Injustice 1 series where I break down my tier list in which in my opinion is the most accurate to date after 7 years of experience playing and competing in the game. I'm going in order from worst to best. I'm honestly excited for this series, so I hope it's something you enjoy watching and I inspire anyone who hasn't played Injustice 1 to play it because it was very fun. Without further ado, let's get on to the first character of the list.
Finish him! Your soul will burn!
Scorpion, the worst character in the game. Scorpion is the worst in the game for a lot of reasons. Scorpion has some stuff that's just very hard to utilize since he's the worst character and there's so many bad matchups. One of the main things that makes Scorpion the worst in the game is his damage. He gets super low damage meterlessly when he spends bar. Like anything he does just does super low damage, and he's really horrible at gaining bar because he has barely any block pressure and he's very unsafe. So he's like high risk, low reward pretty much, and every time he touches you, chances are you're going to out damage Scorpion no matter what character you use. One other thing that really held back Scorpion was the fact that his wake ups were horrible. His low takedown, flip kick, and teleport were all punishable, so he couldn't really get up off the ground. He didn't really have good offensive mix-ups. The only really mix-ups he had was 2-1 slide and 2-1-2, but the slide is full combo punishable, so it was risky to do that. Scorpion didn't really have good mix-ups. His back 2 overhead was 25 frame startup, which is reactable, and his -7 on block, which is full combo punishable. His low string is also punishable. The low starter by itself is 16 frame startup and -9 on block, and the full string back 1-2 -12 on block and can't be confirmed in anything that's safe. And the second hit also wastes on crouch block, so it's punishable in multiple ways. His jump-ins are okay. They can get stuff pretty easily by other down 2s or just be blocked pretty easily since the hitboxes aren't the greatest. His jump 1 is a good air dare since it is very fast. His jump 3 is like a worse version of Deathstroke's jump 3, but it's good for cross-ups. He had a decent down 2 for anti-ring, but down 2 scaled damage on Injustice, so his damage off down 2s are scaled even harder after already having low damage to begin with without down 2 scaling. Most walk speeds in Injustice 1 were slow, but as you can see, Scorpion is literally stuck in the mud. He had slower walk speed than usual, so he had to get in with dashes, jumps, or teleports, which made him pretty predictable and neutral. He also had diagonal pokes, which most characters didn't have. It was like a throwback to MK9. His diagonal one's actually pretty good because it's 6 frame low. His reach and range is really bad. Most of his strings either have whiffing issues, are minus on block, or are unsafe on block. Any source of plus frames had one of those issues, whether it's whiffing issues or just back unblocked where he couldn't reach. Scorpion's best mid is forward 1. Forward 1-1-3 in the second has whiffing issues and can be punished. Stand 3 is +9 unblocked, but has pushback unblocked to where he can't reach afterwards. This Inferno setup's +9 unblocked, but it's not something you use all the time because you would rather use trades for combos instead, but it's just something flashy you can do. Inferno's best use was restanding your opponent, which made them not be able to wake up, and you could follow up with an ambiguous jump in setup. This was Scorpion's best way of mixing up your opponent and getting damage. Fighting female characters as Scorpion was really annoying because stuff would just straight up whiff because of the smaller hurt boxes, or certain follow-ups you couldn't do, which means you had to do less damage against female characters. Meterburn Hellfire was really good for adding unscaled damage to your combos if you had the knockdown advantage to do so. It was really good for unclashable damage and just unscaled damage in general. Raven's set to wake up super, and she can't super because of OTGs. So that's why it's a guaranteed 9% after each combo, assuming you get the hard enough knockdown for it. 2-1-2 is good for setting it up with. You could do some interactive move and get the guaranteed Hellfire. So it was pretty good for sealing out rounds or matches with it if you could set it up and had the bar for it. Interactable bounces came in clutch for Scorpion because they allowed him to get more damage for less resources. He was an acrobat character, which is one of 3 archetypes for interactable users. but it's the worst archetype for interactable users. It goes acrobats, gadgets, and heavies, and acrobats is by far the worst. Scorpion Super actually wasn't too bad. It was a teleport that teleported behind you, anywhere on the screen. It was 8-frame startup and it was -7 on block and pushback. So it was a pretty good super, but the thing is he never has meter to use his super most of the time. So it was very rare that you saw him use super, and it just looks really cool overall. Unfortunately, there's not much else to say about Scorpion, so I apologize if the video is short. The videos will get longer as we go up the list, but this is the first video in the series, so let me know your thoughts and feedback so I can make improvements in the next videos.
To hell with you!